Hello, my name is Raymond Karchevsky. I'm a living Christ. I should like to speak to you spirit to spirit, God to God. Yes, you heard me right. I'm going to break all of the psychological barriers that you have been trained intellectually to believe in. It will destroy the satanic authorities of religion and government and all of the various institutions of commerce. What do they all have in common? What is their purpose for existence? And who created them? I'll answer all of those questions for you. And the answer will outrage most of you. But I want you to pay close attention to what reactions occur within you to my words, and understand why those reactions occur. I'm going to introduce you to your own self-made hell, your intellectual view of the world. It's all a fiction. It doesn't really exist, but except for in your intellectual mind. The mind of images, of illusion, of counterfeit thoughts that represent otherwise an unnamed energy. And that energy is really what you should be paying attention to. Does the energy flow holistically, unimpededly through you when you come in contact with another? Or do you immediately find that you are at odds? You are in conflict. There seems to be an invisible wall that separates you from the other, and that becomes your world, the world of dualism. What do I mean by that? I mean the intellectual, interpretive, defined by words, symbolism of what is your life unfolding in the present moment. However, that moment, that holistic eternal moment of now, is obliterated with the convolution of words and definitions that soon become what your attention is focused upon. And you argue with the projected vision of another, the not you, and you create the hell of dualism in your very mind. I'm talking about the intellectual mind, the satanically ruled mind, the mind that has been indoctrinated by outside forces implemented by men just like you and women, called teachers, and authority symbols that take on the facade, the illusion of authority. You'll find that in government, you'll find that in religion, you'll find that in every corporation on this earth, from banks to commercial institutions, stores. They're all based in commerce. And what is commerce? It is the transference of wealth from one person to another for either a service or a product that is wanted. It's a trade, but that trade isn't fair. The one who sets the price on those trades has the power. That's the nature of hell. Power is only found in the dualistic intellect of mankind. Nowhere else. You experience that power when you enter into the non-dualistic mind that is tampered with by the intellectual definition, and you react rather than act as one. You react because you're responding to an idea, to a concept, to a word. You have been trained to worship words, words of authority. Words are called man's law. Understand? You're an automaton. You are a living, dead person by dictum of the illusion of government, the fiction in itself that creates authority over other fictions called persons, goyim, less than human. Do you understand? And you are above that. However, if you consent, if you agree, you've made a contract with the devil, with Satan. You've sold your soul. You've sold your spirit. Now, I'm talking to that spirit, and you're hearing it from your intellect. Therefore, you will be outraged, you will be insulted, you will feel that I'm calling you stupid when I'm doing no such thing. It speaks for itself. Look at the world. Look at the world you have created. Look at the world that you have supported. And what have you supported it with? Your taxes, your tithing, your belief system. You've lost your ability to be sovereign, to be whole, living men and women. And you are but children by choice because you choose to be taken care of. You choose for others to make decisions for you, to do the thinking for you. Does that not describe government and religion? Now, you were forced into that realm of consciousness, well beyond your ability to be a balanced human being. And therefore, you feel that life is unfair. Well, if you continue to hold to that theory, which is only a theory, a belief, it is unfair. But who is the creator of the unfairness? God. God is. Now you're going to say you can't blame God for one's stupidity. And I say, of course you can blame God, because you're God. You're the one who has acted out of your subconscious mind and made that act into a creative phenomenon. That's called life. It's called your life. And you're fully responsible for your quality of life. Now, in the realm of duality, which is a fiction, you're not responsible for others who create their quality of life, and you can't do a damn thing about their reaction. All you can do is deal with their reaction, which causes you to react to their reaction. And what is that called? It's called argument. It's called debate. It is the force upon which hell is created. It is the force which creates wars, which creates crime, which creates dependence upon another for one's very life force. That's the mind of a child, dependent upon a parent, who allows the parent to do their thinking for them. Well, the problem is that you grow up, you age, and in that time of aging, you're presented with experiences that are direct. But if you change those experiences into learned responses mechanically, because somebody has taught you how to respond to certain stimuli, you've been hypnotized. You have experienced a satanic spell of hypnosis. And the world of hell relies upon hypnosis in order to have power over the intellect. And it does. Look at the world. Look at the circumstances we're now facing with the financial collapse. Look at that. Look at the fact that our money, which is really a symbol of your life energy, you have to work to earn that money. And then what do you do with that money? You give it away. You support government, institutions that are merely figments of your imagination, and religion. Both only exist in the intellect, in your intellect. But that becomes your world. You have been trained to be a believer, not a knower, not a direct apprehension of what is that can only be found in the subconscious mind, for that is the energy of God. You see, in the non-dualistic subconscious mind, there's only the creator and the acts that create the material universe for that individual and that individual only. But that is not seen that way by you. As I speak to you, you're experiencing the factor of being a dualistic intellect, and you're interpreting my words. Understand? When you interpret my words, you're not hearing the truth. You're not hearing. We are not resonating at one in the truth. We are debating, necessarily by virtue of your definitions. And there becomes a separation, an eternal separation between the two. That eternal separation is hell on earth. And you can see that it is a perfect description of civilized society. Now listen to me carefully. I'm different. Why am I different? You can sense the energy of this living man. And he is impinging upon the energy of you, the Christ state of consciousness at the subconscious level. Oh, your intellect, your satanic intellect is interfering with it, no question about that. It's interpreting, and it's demanding that you accept their definitions when you're not hearing at all what is being said, because your definitions get in the way. That is the Tower of Babel. That is the curse of the intellect, where eternal separation is based on individual egos. Now, the ego is required in order to function at this level of consciousness. There's no question about that. I don't argue that at all. I just point out that it is there. It is a reality. And one must transcend that dualistic frame of consciousness in order to find peace. Oh, you speak a great deal of the words peace and love. But what is it? It's not in your realm. Those are just words. Those are reflections of an energy that is that love, that is that peace, that is that God, because it creates the quality of your life. And that's all you have to go on. You look at your life, and you're at the lowest realm of slavery. How'd you get there? You consented to it. You understand, most of you don't realize what a person is. You're a person by definition. You were born into this world, a whole human being. And instantly, the fictitious, the counterfeit realm of education took place, and your mother, who was contaminated with energy that is fragmented, power, authority, signed an agreement, a satanic agreement, for all contracts are satanic. The judicial system is satanic. The government is satanic. The religions are satanic, for they're all based in concepts and contracts, agreements. The agreement may be verbal, or it may be your signature on a dotted line. That's the nature of the satanic legal system. It imposes upon one a limited relationship where they are responsible for the words of another, the words that appear on a contract. And if you sign your name to that contract, you agree, and the proof of your agreement is the contract itself and its signature. And they have power. You have just been reduced to a person, a non-living human being. Understand? And the authorities, the satanic authorities that are the creators of that contract, in the form of religion and politics, have held you to be less than they, and therefore they can impose upon you law. What is law? Don't you see? It's satanic, intellectual, words and ideas that are imposed upon you through trickery and deceit. That is the nature of Satan. The legal system, as it is known, is satanic, and that is the realm that you agree to if you are a citizen of a particular institution that is odds with other institutions, also fictional entities in the minds of those people who agree to it. That accounts for nations. It accounts for countries. It accounts for corporations. And you see that the fundamental power is held in the hands of all these people who are at that level of intellectual power. It's a private club. And as a now deceased comedian says it, you're not in it. There was much wisdom coming from that man. But all you people saw was humor. How many of you were able to penetrate the humor to find out the truth that was being said by that comedian? The comedy was his vehicle. And in a way, it was a deception in order for the truth to be progressed onto you. And you accepted it because your barriers were down. You were open. You were being entertained, but you were also being taught. I, on the other hand, am quite different. There's nothing comedic about this man. This man is a serious spirit, a oneness, an entity of oneness, who's in communication with the entity of another who is also a spirit, but has given up that spirit in return for an ego. An ego that can be indoctrinated. And that describes most of you. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to teach you. You must teach yourself. And that happens when we commune with one another at the level of non-duality. In that moment of understanding of non-duality, there is no you and there is no me. There's only God. And we, yes, you heard me right, we are it. If we are in our subconscious mind. Unfortunately, that seems not to be the case for most of us. I speak to you from the balance of the subconscious mind, but I must use words which are intellectual in nature in order to communicate with you. You take that energy and you change it according to your definitions. You don't accept what I have said, the truth of what I have said. You are reacting to your own definitions, and they're causing conflict within you, and therefore you cannot accept it. Therefore you perpetuate the hell that you live in. You agree to maintain yourself as a slave, a dualistic slave. You understand? That's really what's going on in this video. You're experiencing that energy that is manipulatable, and one caves in to either the balance of what is, which is love, which is true understanding, which is God. No conflict, no contradiction, it's truth. Or one remains apart by their own consent, by their own admission of being a consensual but this interpreting individual who changes the energy at will by virtue of their limited understanding. That, by the way, is called ignorance. If your understanding is divided, if there's a wall between you and I, you can only go as far as your wall allows you to. And that limitation is what is ignorance. It's not, I'm not insulting you. I'm speaking truth. If you will replay this video, you will see that my energy is absolutely different from everything you've ever heard, because it's true. I speak and act in truth. That is what the Christ state of consciousness is. Understand? You have been trained into the illusion of the legend, the myth of a Christ, and that becomes a superhero, a divided energy from you that is pointed before you as a carrot before a beast of burden, trying to emulate, trying to achieve that, and you act mechanically in order to do that. That's the sign of a spiritual child, looking for directions and relying upon the authority which will judge their ability to follow and will tell them what their spiritual worth is. You understand? Only a fool, a grown-up adult fool, would allow that to happen to them. And there are millions of you, billions of you throughout the world, belonging to different organizations that you have created in your God mind. Again, I must repeat that you are God. You have been duped into thinking that God is some other entity other than you. There is no other entity but you in your subconscious mind. That's the mind of what is. That's the mind of the Creator. And you are the Creator. Get that through your heads, you see. I say that because you have been trained to believe in ideas of authority and call that God. If you're in, if you have the religious bent of mind, or it's called God if you have a political bent of mind. A symbol of authority, a symbol of power, a symbol of infinite intelligence. But it's not. It's merely your limited idea of what infinite intelligence is. You see how subtle it is. It's time to wake up, because they're coming after you. I recently watched a video of a New Age individual who held a 3-hour program with a meditation. Well, you see, that meditation was merely hypnosis. He was suggesting to you a power, a life, a quality of life, based in words. And when you submitted your spirit to accepting that as authority, you were satanically hypnotized. That's a fact. Now, these people have power over you because they own the means of media, the communication institutions. That's quite clear. If you look at my videos on YouTube, you will find that to a worldwide audience, and the quality of my messages are not heard. Why? Look at the counters, numbers, and look at them for the past year. Now, they've cut off all of the past videos and limited it to a number which is recently affected, to probably a month. But if you want the full complement of my videos, go to my website, arkenterprises.com, and look at the more than 400 videos that go back for years, decades, and you'll get the full complement of what is being cut off from you by those who control the power of displaying those videos. You're under mind control, no question about that. And I'm here to wake you up. I'm here to bring you to the point of your stance as a simple man or woman of truth, of Christ. Are you up for it? Are you capable of understanding what I've just said to you? If not, you shall continue to live in the hell of your own making.